Oh, so today I woke up with two words, which are revolution and evolution. So I asked Creator, what is it that you want me to know about these words, or what message? I wasn't really understanding. And so it took me a while to understand and process what exactly this message is. And so what Creator is basically saying is that right now humanity is going through a revolution of dismantling, unveiling, and really taking apart the systems and the programs that are not serving humanity, and that we must go through this process in order for us to evolve as a people, as humanity, and for us to really ascend into that next space or place that we want to collectively get to. It doesn't look like we all want or are aiming for the same things, which are, freedom, and it is sovereignty, and it is, honoring our truths. However, it looks a little bit different for everyone. Each of us has their own way or thoughts of what that looks like. And so it feels like humanity is so divided right now, so disconnected from each other. And we are to a certain extent, but the reality is that we are more connected right now than ever because we are all wanting the same thing. We just are all feeling it or seeing it in a slightly different way. The reason for that is because of all that is coming up to the surface. So many people are feeling, the anxiety, the confusion, the fear. And so it seems like we all want different things. And really, we don't. We all want to just be in a place of peace and harmony and love, and really just be in community with each other. And that's what we have to focus on. And so what Creator is saying is, in order for us to get there, we must navigate through all this that is not serving humanity, and also individually. So we have to look at ourselves and ask ourselves, what is it that is still weighing on me? What is it that is still triggering me? What is affecting me? How am I reacting to certain things? Am I reacting from a place of compassion, or am I reacting from fear, or from just the intensity of the energy that's around? And so as you start navigating through your own process and feelings, then that's when everything starts really harmonizing again. Because as you guys know, energy is very real, vibration is very real. And although we might think that we are coming from a place of, meaning good intentions, our energy may not match that. And I talked about this a little bit on, one of the messages, like one or two messages ago, where I realized that I was bringing messages, but I was bringing messages from a place of anxiety. And I didn't even realize when it happened, like when that switch happened. And, even though our intention is in the right place, if our energy isn't, then that's what we're putting out. So Creator is saying we have to find that balance of doing the work collectively and individually, where we're still sharing and bringing truth and honoring ourselves, but then also we want to continue working on ourselves so that we don't fall into that energy of, that anticipation and the anger and the frustration, and we lose that compassion and connection with each other. We lose the ability to really have a conversation with someone and hear what they're actually saying, as opposed to what you feel that they're saying. And so as we work through our own triggers and our own stuff, we allow ourselves to once again flow and not resist. Because what Spirit was also showing me and telling me is that we are all experiencing fear to a certain extent in different ways. And I didn't even realize that I was experiencing fear. And it might be different for everybody. You know, for some it's the fear of being around people that have not received you know, the jab, and for other people it might be the opposite. You know, they're afraid to be around people that have received it. And then for me, you know, it's like I got caught in the feeling of like, well, people don't listen, then we're gonna lose our freedoms. So I was in the fear of losing our freedoms, and then I started pushing the information, you know, from that energy of feeling anxious, feeling the anticipation of what I know can happen if nobody listens to these messages. And that's what people was receiving, instead of really like hearing what I was actually bringing, which was the awareness and the message of you have choice, you have free will, and that right now, you know, we're all free beings. And I have to remember that right now we are all in that free energy. We all want that same outcome of peace and community and love. We're just navigating through it in our own different way. And so when we come back into being able to remember that we have to work through our stuff, through our triggers, and simultaneously continue doing this work, that's when we're going to reconnect with each other, because that's when we're going to be able to hear each other, have compassion, and agree to disagree. And although we all will eventually find our own path, we will do it in a way where we at least honor each other, instead of trying to force or convince each other that one way is right and the other way is wrong, because there is no right or wrong way to experience what we're going through. That's just a matter of a personal journey that we're each going to have to work through, and then collectively, eventually, people will settle into their own communities as this unfolds. So it's going to be very important that as we all settle into our communities, that we remember that no matter what it is that you choose, we're all still wanting the same outcome. We're all still wanting that peace, that harmony, that love, and that in order for us to get there, it's going to have to, take us honoring our own self first by doing the work. You know, it's no different than when we have a personal trauma or experience that is affecting our day-to-day life. In order for us to be able to be free from it, we must sit in the dark with it so that we can transmute it, right? We process, and that's how we heal. We have to face the shadows. So we face it, we process, and then we transmute it. And so we do that individually and then bring that into the collective. We don't sit with the fear and then try to push those messages, or we don't sit with that anxiety and then try to receive messages, because what we're doing is we're being very closed off, and we're not really listening to Creator. We're not really honoring each other's process, because we're all just trying to talk and nobody's listening. So as we sit and honor each other and really listen to what we're saying and not what we think each other is saying, that's when we're going to really start working together again and harmonizing, and knowing that, yes, eventually, like I said, people will go into their own communities and settle again, but we're going to do it in a way where we are loving and compassionate and respectful of each other's process. And but at the end of the day, we are working through, and that's most importantly, that we do have to go through this process of the revolution in order to get to the evolution of humanity. And so continue to do the work, and continue to do work that takes you in. And the work, just to clarify, is not just sharing truth. That's work, but I'm saying the inner work, the deep work, the real, like, let me be in this space of what I'm feeling right now, whether it's, anger, whether it's, whatever it is that you're feeling, that frustration, anxiety. but just don't let it, live there. Don't have a tenant of, those different feelings take up space within you. In other words, process it and then transmute it into a beautiful growth of knowing that that part is done. That part is transmuted, and now you're stepping into that rebirth of who you are in your now spirit body. So doing the spirit work and the physical work is very important right now. Find that balance and stay in that center of it. Again, it always goes back to staying in the center of it. So that's pretty much where we're at right now. Yeah, so all right, until the next message, I will continue to stay connected with everybody in my prayer, and I hope that you guys do the same. Aho.